Hello, everyone. Richard here at Calvin Wazoo, where if I knew the way, I would take you home. And this is Recent Finds, episode number 33, and I will be talking about some, not all, my record store day pickups, which I covered, in a video where I went over everything that I picked up. But now I'm going to be going into a little more detail, and with this particular episode, we're going to be talking about these soul jazz records releases, plus the ska release, which was this one here with English beat, Wha'ppen. The original of this was from 1981, so this is the record store day copy, which is on yellow and green vinyl. Very nice. Overall, the packaging is really quite nice. You have the photo in the center of the gatefold, some little information in there, and then with record one, it has the lyrics for side one, for the songs in side two, which were the original album. On this translucent yellow, this particular one. And then the other album, which is the bonus material, different mixes, whether they might be a dub mix or something else. And that one is on this, I'm going to call it transparent green. It might be translucent. Yeah, I guess I'm going to call it translucent. The difference being transparent is clear. You could read text through it. Translucent means light passes through, but it's not perfectly clear. And that's enough science from Mr. Professor right now. But yeah, it's got this really nice, super nice cardstock. This is their second album. And when it came out, I used to have a copy of it on, it might have been CD, it might have been cassette. I'm going to say it was probably cassette. CDs were just coming out, I think, and when was this released? In 1981. So after the first one, it was just, the first one being I Just Can't Stop It. That was just so great. What a debut. This one was kind of, and then came Special Beat Service, which was, again, to me, a much better album. But anyway, because I didn't have it on vinyl, I thought, what the heck, I'm going to get the record store day release of this. And this is an amazing remix and remaster. And it makes me interested in the record store day release of last year that they put together for I Just Can't Stop It. I mean, I already had that on vinyl, but because this was such an amazing product that, wow, I'm going to kind of look that up, and I have looked it up. And, it's pretty much even selling now in the secondhand market for roughly what it was being sold at the release time. So, what is really nice with this recording is that there is definitely the sound staging brings in a lot of space. And what English beat, or the beat as they are known in Britain, was doing at the time, they were really into exploring more of the ska musical category, but also they were expanding recording and production techniques. So there, if you are familiar, for example, with the album Sandinista by The Clash, some of those songs, especially the ones that go into the reggae and ska and dub realm, you hear that similar kind of spaciousness, reverb and echoes and things like that. That in some respects, I think they're trying to recreate the dance hall sound and feel with the music. So now when they went to Special Beat Service with the next, they used some of those techniques, but it was much more sparingly. And whereas, with this record, it is pretty much the recording and production signature of the album. And I have such a better appreciation for this release after listening to this Record Store Day reissue. I still like I Just Can't Stop It and Special Beat Service better than this one, but I do now have a much better appreciation and greater affinity toward this record than I did in the past. It's a great experimentation that they went through. It says here, this was recorded quickly, composed by the whole band both on the road and during brief jam sessions, and emerged as an intuitive expansion and elaboration of the Beats sound, even as it maintained the hook-heavy immediacy and social consciousness that had characterized their debut. It is, and of course, as it also says in there, their follow-up, Special Beat Service, was their, masterpiece. But so I can see why my initial reaction might have been that this was kind of a haphazard album, because it seems like that's kind of how it was built. But at the same time, these were very thoughtful experimentations and attempts at fully diving into and immersing themselves, into this musical genre that they were really becoming very well known for, and even becoming a signature band. I'm really glad I picked this up. And as I said, I'm thinking of going back and picking up the Record Store release of I Just Can't Stop It. The needle drop I'm going to play for you is from the second disc, side 4, where a lot of the Dubweiser mixes for like the songs Too Nice to Talk To and Psychedelic Rockers, Doors of Your Heart, and Hit It. The needle drop I'll play for you is Psychedelic Rockers. Very spacious sound, and I really love it. And the recording and pressing is fantastic. So there you have Wha'ppen. So the next group is from Soul Jazz Records, and I am generally of the opinion that if there is a Soul Jazz Records release, I will buy it without thinking, if it's one I don't already have. And my collection is, kind of growing. I mean, I have this one here. This is record A of Deutsche Elektronische Musik. I mean, you've got Can on here, Amandul, Tug, Konrad Schnitzler, all right? I mean, there's some, great pieces and great musical artists. And then, of course, there's record B, these are, both two record sets, with Faust and, is it Neu or Ney, N-E-U? Yeah, whatever. Just excellent music there. And then the first one I ever got was this one, 2 synths, a guitar, and a drum machine. So we're talking, techno, EDM type of music, post-punk dance is what the call on this really fantastic lime green vinyl. And then I picked up this one, Cold Wave #1. So we're, the cold wave EDM kind of music with, pieces from a lot of, obscure musicians, but great stuff. I also got New York Noise, all right, here. So dance music from the New York Underground. Excellent compilation. This one is really cool too, in terms of electronic and ambient music. Also on very cool yellow vinyl. So yeah, just space, energy, and light, experimental electronic and acoustic soundscapes from 1961 to 88. Great compilation. Then this one, I believe this was released last year on Record Store Day. Gypsy Rumba on this yellow vinyl. Really great music from the origins of rumba, gypsy rumba music from Spain. And then we also have this one here, Cuba Music and Revolution, Cultural Clash in Havana. Another outstanding compilation of a variety of music that was coming out of Cuba from 1973 to 1985. And this is volume 2, so there's a volume 1 out there someplace. And then the other one I already had. This is the only one that I would consider the weakest of the ones that I picked up. And that's this one, the Holy Church of the Ecstatic Soul. So this is gospel, funk, and soul at the crossroads, 1971 to 1983. This is a great album. However, it is very gospel heavy in some parts. And while I love really good gospel music, I can only take so much of it. And so this is not necessarily, and it's on this great red vinyl, with these 2 record sets, all these other ones, I could listen to one side or 2 sides, or I could listen through all 4 sides, no problem. With this one, yeah, I'm going to be limited to probably one side, and then I'm going to have to listen to something else before I go back and listen to some other sides of it. So yeah, that's just me. I love gospel music, but at times, there's a limit, and then it's just too much. So the Soul Jazz records that were released this Record Store Day are just carrying on the tradition of just super excellent collating of the material, putting it together, the packaging and information. And this one here, Punk 45, Kill the Hippies, Kill Yourself, which these are 2 songs that are on here. This is just, again, this one is a gatefold. Not all of these released necessarily as a gatefold, but you know, we've got, it's taken from a lot of 45s, and then on the inside you've got the information about each of the songs, you know, in there, plus you know, this whole sort of history of the punk music movement in the United States. And then you have all, you know, the little brief bios about the bands and the singles that are played on here. I mean, this is a great production, great sound. But when I say that, you know, it is with the caveat that we're talking about, you know, the source material is 45s. And depending on the quality of the source tape that was being used, you know, hey, some of these tracks are going to sound like an old 45. They're not going to sound like a super well produced, you know, Bernie Grundman mastered type of release. But they're still really good nonetheless. I mean, it starts off really strong with the Urinals and the song I'm a Bug. And then it goes through just, you know, dozens of tracks here. There's one also from Iggy and the Stooges, Give Me Some Skin, which is from 1977. The opening track, I'm a Bug, is from 1979. So, yeah, most of these are from 79, 78. There's a couple from 1980. There's one here from 1976 by Pastiche, Flash of the Moment. And the needle track I'm going to play for you, though, is by the Nervous Eaters, and the song is called Just Head. Yeah, baby, you know, just Ted. I haven't got any time, you know. That's all I want. So anyway, good stuff, Punk 45. Definitely an excellent addition from Soul Jazz Records. All right, the next one is Studio One. And as you saw, I already have a Studio One. Oh, I didn't pull that one out. I do have another Studio One that I already had that I picked up from last year. That's this one, Studio One Ska, on this green vinyl. And so this one is Studio One for this year, Rude Boy, okay? And we have the Record Store Day release on this really nice, they call it cyan, but it's really, to me, it's kind of a, you know, robin's egg blue or sky blue vinyl. And the original was from 2000. There was an original one called Studio One Ska, that one I just showed you. That was from 2004. This one is from 2006. I misstated. And again, this has a fascinating history in here that documents reggae's reaction to the rude boy culture. And while this is just like a pocket sleeve that both records fit into. But there's a lot of history about the rude boy culture on one of the inner sleeves. And so essentially this rude boy culture, there would be the dance hall movement with the ska and reggae that was going on in Jamaica. And then the different dance hall kings and directors and promoters, they took advantage of this rise in what became known as rude boys, who were, you know, they dressed very much like how the cover shows. They dressed like the gangsters they saw in movies that were coming out at the time about gangsters. And so they were being recruited by some of the dance hall managers to disrupt and shut down another promoter's, dance hall concert or party or whatever. And they would show up carrying knives, machetes. They would just walk into the clubs, and hack cables so that everything got shut down. Sometimes they had guns. It was a big mess. And then, police and military would be responding to them. But then the police and military became just as much a bunch of thugs as the Rude Boys did. So these are all songs put together by various artists commenting on this rude boy culture, whether it's commenting generally in a negative way, but at times some of it is kind of borderline, I won't say glorifying, but not really condemning it, but others are very harsh in their condemnation of the whole culture. And the needle drop I'm going to play for you is by Dudley Sibley, and the track is called Run Boy Run, and it's from 1967. The Wailers and Bob Marley, in fact, according to the history, was recruited to try and act as an intermediary between two of the rival rude boy groups. And so they actually had a concert. And so I'm wondering, with this movie that's going to be coming out about Bob Marley, this biopic, it's not a documentary, it's a docudrama, a biopic. But I wonder if they'll be mentioning that part when he was asked to sort of be a mediator between these two rivaling rude boy groups. Be very interesting to see that film. So yeah, really excellent release, that one as well, with the Studio One Rude Boy. And then the final one is this one. Soul Jazz Records, 300% Dynamite. And this is on some transparent blue vinyl. Very nice. Let me pull it out here. I mean, you can see with the inner sleeves, it's got all the different releases that, they have a vast catalog. And they have a store in London where you can go in there and it's just wall to wall of all these different comps that they've done. But yeah, very nice, this transparent, sort of almost an indigo blue, deep sapphire blue with that. And, this is ska, this is soul, this is rock steady, funk and dub, dance hall music, doesn't have very much information in terms of, when the different selections were released, etc. It identifies them by artist and the song title. But yeah, it doesn't include, like when the record, on what record it was released or how it was released and when. That kind of information is scant or even non-existent with this one. But again, it's a great compilation. The needle drop I have for you is the song by the Freddie Munnings Orchestra, and it's called Coconut Woman.
Candy, make you feel very dandy. One woman told me she got a day that no one can take a sweet man away. I asked her what was the mystery. She said coconut water and a raspberry. Coconut got whiskey, make you feel very frisky. Coconut got coke, make you feel very drunk.
These are fun records that either you can play at a party and put on, or for when you have guests over. But also, if you are the kind of person, and I know some people who do this, and I wouldn't mind, getting the setup to be able to do this either. But if you've got two turntables and a mixer, you can play tracks from one to the other, good switch. A perfect way to create a musical evening of lots of different types of music. So there you have it. Those are the Soul Jazz record releases from Record Store Day, plus that new reissue by the English Beat, Wha'ppen. I'd be, if you've got a copy of I Just Can't Stop It, the Record Store Day release of that from last year, I'd love to get a comment in the Down Under about that. Kind of let me know, if it sounds as good as this one, does. Is it worth getting, even though I already have the original? So yeah, I'd be really interested in that. You can hit the like button, because that does help with the distribution of my content. And hey, if you want to subscribe, that's fine. If you hit the like button, that's going to be good for not just my feed, but your feed as well, because it's more likely you'll see my content showing up in your feed. I can also be found on Instagram as NewsDude76. That's NEWZDUDE76. And I have a Facebook page called Calvin Wazoo, where I not only post these videos, but other videos and other articles and items related to musical content. So I hope you enjoyed that, and always remember to pray for the people inside your head, for they won't be there when you're dead.